Where here I try to just present the truths or the facts of everything, and as along the way, if there's any questions, I keep it pretty informal, so if we want to make it more specific to, even though there's a fairly decent sized number of people, I can do that. So if there's any questions along the way, let me know, and then pretty much put everything on your guys' sheet all on one page. Mine's a couple, but I'll go through that. What I like about this is the triangle and then the carbohydrate curve I thought was really helpful. The triangle part, and I know there's some people that do not eat meat. So I know it says meat, fish, fowl, eggs. This could be anything that has a protein source, because that gets brought up a lot where people are like, well, wait, it says a bulk of dietary calories should be from this area. I don't eat meat. Then it would be a stronger protein source, which could be many things. Some people, what about peanut butter? Okay, yes, it has fat, but it has a protein source. There's a lot of vegetables, believe it or not, that have a decent protein source that you could almost move from the vegetable and make this a bigger category. So I understand there's some people that aren't meat eaters, and kind of when I do these talks, you never know who's going to be there. So it's trying to accommodate a little bit of everybody of how they could substitute. But for the most part, the base of the triangle or pyramid says eat meat and vegetables. And technically, that's about what you would need. I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth here a little bit. With the macronutrients, the fact that there's carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, you should eat from each of those categories. So I know there's some programs that are like very high in protein but low in carbs, or very high in fat and low in carbs, or very high in carbs and low in fat. We're meant to eat all three. In general, most people, and this is where I put like with the goals, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, or both, if you're eating for health and even fitness, because some people's fitness goals are, I just want to gain a bunch of muscle, and then usually they don't want to gain fat, so there's your fat loss, muscle gain. You're going to eat, if you eat for health, you're going to eat protein, you're going to eat carbs, you're going to eat fat. It's just finding the exact right ratio, which is slightly varied for each person. And some of the references that I'll use where it says find your metabolic type, there's a book, Metabolic Typing Diet. They use the word diet, not because diets are good, but diet books sell. And anything you put, as long as it says diet in it, they're going to sell 1 million books versus 10,000 books. So, Metabolic Typing Diet is actually an eating plan. And I know in that book, which I have in the back, and all my references, there's chapter 6, which is, I think, 60 or so questions. And it's trying to take complex subjects, which I know we do in physical therapy here, trying to take all the complexity of the body and boil it down to some basic things. And if you look in there, there's a carb mix and a protein type. So for example, and I kind of interject myself here, I would, in the 90s, I eat low fat. Anything that was low fat, I didn't even care. If it had a bunch of sugar and it was processed food and it was cereals and spaghetti and SpaghettiOs, I'm like, oh, it's low fat. So everything that says low fat, well, it must be what I need, so I'm going to eat a lot of low fat. Well, little did I know, I never really got that big, but I carried some extra weight. But when I'd go home on my vacations, which I was supposed to, usually people gain weight on the vacations, I would always lose fat and gain muscle. So I realized, wow, I'm actually eating what ended up being a protein